This week on Coffin Fodder, it's time to join a cult because we are talking the endless.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
I like to dissect girls.
This is God.
We have such sights to show you.
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
I see dead. Red.
Even in hell. Oh, yes. Oh, no tears, please.
They're here.
Hello and welcome to episode 17 of Coffin Fodder. You know, they said we wouldn't make it past episode 16.
That's right. Now look at us.
Fuck those guys, man.
Fuck
those,
the haters.
fuck them. Those fucking pieces of shit.
Bunch of turds.
Anyway, I am your host, Mike Warby, and I am joined by my creepy cult brother, Kyle Mickleborough.
That's me.
And a man who's been stuck in time for many, many years, Brady Silger. Hello! And he's
looping.
He's looping.
He's looping.
He's looping. He's done it before. I swear I've heard that voice before. And today we are talking a film, sort of an indie horror film called The Endless.
Bum, bum, bum.
This is a 2017 movie about two brothers. They survived a UFO death cult. Justin is the older brother. So Justin took Aaron out of the cult when he suspected that the cult was about to commit mass suicide.
Yep, saved his little bro. Right
So they left, and now they're kind of just like hanging out in the real world, and they get this video from the cult suggesting that the people are still alive. So because life sucks and Aaron doesn't really remember the cult in the same way that Justin does,
right,
he suggests that let's just go back and see them and kind of see what it was like, and maybe we can kind of unravel
because
this traumatic memory or whatever. And
right, because they were, I think, around like middle teens when they'd left the cult, I guess.
I think Aaron was a lot younger because he doesn't remember a lot, but I believe Justin was probably like 15 or 16.
Yeah, it's hard to...
I think they said 15 at one point.
It's kind of hard to say exactly what their ages were.
Yeah.
But yeah, the implication is that Aaron was young enough that his memories are not clear.
Yeah. And so they've been living in, public society for, quite some time at this point.
And they're having a pretty bad time.
And it's not fun, yeah.
No.
Surprise!
Yeah.
It sucks out here.
Yeah, surprise to all the people who are currently living in society.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed to learn that it's not great.
No, and that we should probably all find a cult.
Yes. There was a moment in this movie where I was like, fucking sign me up.
Yeah.
There was at least one moment.
Good. That means the movie worked.
Yeah. I think what it's doing, it does good enough by presenting it through, because our memories, we're basically already talking about the movie, so we might as well just
let's jump through some shit. Yeah.
So
can I point out one thing?
Absolutely, of course.
At the very beginning, there's a opening quote. I think there's two, but one of them's from Lovecraft. The unknown quote.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you guys. This isn't based off of Lovecraft.
It's not based off, but it is an homage to.
Well, that's interesting because I feel like it's interesting the longer we do this, the more I start to see sort of a
pattern,
a wavelength or a pattern to your guys' picks.
Mm-hmm.
Yours, in general, Kyle, your movies tend to skew towards weird fucking trip fests.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I like the cerebral stuff, man.
Basically, if I'm watching something that feels like a Pink Floyd music video, I know Kyle. Yeah, I know Kyle picked it.
It's less of a journey through Pink Floyd's discography and much more that the movies that stick out to me are asking questions about or presenting moments of a side of humanity that we don't always discuss or often see. So fear of the unknown is very pervasive in horror and certainly in our lives, and that's where this movie tends to carry on into is the fear of unknown in life is what is driving some of these characters and is their main motivation. So it's more which is similar to sort of some of the thoughts about humanity presented in Annihilation, or even though it was your pick, it's a favorite movie of mine, Sunshine. We're talking about a lot of the psychological aspects of these people and of horror.
Honestly, that was so eloquent that it sounds like you rehearsed it in the mirror.
So I come in completely unprepared. That's just me.
You come completely unprepared?
Oh, fuck. You have no idea. I never know when it's happening. It's always a surprise. Sometimes it catches me off guard.
Oh, it's also endless.
It is endless. Yeah. No, those are my picks. Those are the horror that get to me. It's not monsters, it's not gore, it's... Because I can see gore. I could run or fight a monster, but I can't do that to my own brain.
Right.
There's only one way to beat my own brain, and it's extremely final.
Yeah, it feels like a companion piece to They Look Like People because it's these two guys kind of on different wavelengths. Mm-hmm. But they're both kind of losing it, but they're losing it in like different ways. They're dealing with the same situation, but they're handling it in different ways.
The only thing that didn't happen in this movie that happened in They Look Like People is the slumber party.
Yeah.
Which it kind of does a little bit in like the later on in the movie, but not really a slumber party.
I would have enjoyed a good pillow fight in this film.
I would have, I would have liked to see some characters pretending to be monsters fighting each other. Yeah. That would have been.
This was a little more serious than that.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get it. We don't get all that much levity in this movie. It's kind of just a heavy. It's a heavy, dark time.
It is a heavy, dark time. Yeah. That's what I want people to think about when I pick these things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I can relate to that. I guess the first thing that happens in the movie is they get the video. It's a video of some sort of cryptic imagery, and then there's a woman speaking to the camera.
Yeah.
So Anna, who becomes the love interest of one of the brothers, and I can't remember the girl who becomes the love interest for the other brother, but
that's the homeless girl that. No, she's not homeless, but she came from...
she escaped from a rehab facility.
Rehab, that's what it was,
That's what it was.
Because she keeps talking about Crazy Gun Nut Guy. Or drawing Crazy Gun Nut Guy, which we'll meet later.
Right. So, she looks like Zazie Beetz, that girl.
Totally.
I got that, too.
So, they end up going back to the cult. Along the way, they have the classic movie trope of is this real, is this not, which harkens back to last week's pick, Carnival of Souls. Mm-hmm. But this is the classic one that I've seen in at least one other movie, Take Shelter. The birds flying in the weird patterns. Mm-hmm. Oh, the other one I can think of is True Detective Season 1.
Okay.
Where they were doing the birds flying in the weird patterns.
Yeah, similar scenes, eh?
Does it mean something? It's kind of a trope.
Yeah.
That I've seen a couple times before, at least, where they're kind of like doing this evocative, weird...
Yeah, it's just something that stands out, right? And I don't think there's anything more than that, other than that it's something that you would find unnatural.
Yeah, just something where you're supposed to... And I think it's the younger brother, Aaron, who looks left and sees the birds flying weird, and looks right and sees the birds flying weird, and then he looks left and still sees them, and then he looks back to the right and they're gone. And that's how he says, like, let's go that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
in a lot of science fiction and like stories, you hear about birds acting weird around different phenomena.
Well, animals in general. Animals understand. Yeah, animals are connected to the earth in a way that we're not.
Birds are used a lot, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think birds are used more than anything. You don't see squirrels run up trees.
No, there's a movie called Birds. There's not a movie called Squirrels.
There needs to be a movie called Squirrels.
That's probably the only notable thing we got to talk about before they get back to the cult, really, right?
Oh, yeah, it's...
I guess it's worth mentioning that their life outside of the cult sucks ass.
Yeah.
But, their life, they're sharing packs of ramen.
Yeah, they're poor.
They're not making friends. They can't find girlfriends.
Miserable.
They can barely find any sort of gainful employment. Mm-hmm. Their car battery's dead on their car that they share.
Fucking Aaron.
Yeah. Everything's so that's kind of where we're at and why it's so easy for them to kind of just fuck off.
Yeah, back to the cult.
What Justin and Aaron agree is about one day, maybe two at most.
Yeah.
And then of course they end up staying a lot longer than they expected.
It's a place they're welcome with a warm meal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they arrive and very quickly There's the weird smiling guy is probably the first indication that something weird is going on.
The smiley dude, yeah, the lobotomy buddy.
Yeah, the guy who just looks like he's fucking insane the entire movie anytime he's on screen.
Yeah, I think very shortly or in that scene they explain why he was drilling holes in his head to really pressure to feel a form of ecstasy, because if you drill it into your head just right, you'll permanently be high.
I don't remember which movie we were talking about in the past, but I mentioned this because it's what happens at the end of the movie Pi, Darren Aronofsky's first movie.
Oh, okay.
He's the guy who made Requiem for a Dream and The Fountain and shit. His first movie Pi ends with the guy kind of drilling a hole in his head and then kind of being okay after that.
Right. Yeah.
Scanners was the movie we did where he drills the hole
in
his head. That was Scanners.
Yeah, the bad guy Revik from Scanners did that.
Yeah.
So that's where that came up in the past. So yeah, that is a well-known phenomenon, which I always think it's interesting because it's so niche. Most people don't even know that's a thing. No, I love seeing really weird niche shit in movies that happens to be real.
Right. He's kind of a throwaway character, but as you get through the film, you'll understand this guy is doing what they're doing in this cult, essentially, just to a much more extreme level, because he wants to constantly feel euphoric.
Alien sex cult.
Yeah. But he went a little too far, and it became less of a drilling and more of a lobotomization.
Yes, and I think it's interesting that very early on we're already seeing things that Justin said happened that are not true.
Right.
Because for a lot of this movie, we're thinking that these characters have castrated themselves.
Right.
Yeah, and it turns out that that's not the case. Which, for a long stretch of this movie, I was like, oh man, these chicks are so hot.
Yeah.
This feels so horny.
Yeah.
Everybody's crushing beers and doing drugs.
Yeah.
and everybody's hot.
Yeah.
All the guys, all the girls are attractive. Yeah. There's no uggos in this cult.
No, they're all just a bunch of hot hippies hanging around.
Yeah,
living
I'm
free.
I'm like, man.
Yeah.
Everybody would be sucking and fucking in this cult.
Count me in.
Yeah. And then it turns out they can actually do that. So that's
forever.
Yes.
Well, except for Aaron, happens later in the movie.
Yeah. So I guess they're back in the cult. There are strange things, such as they seem to have a tug-of-war with the sky at one point.
Yep.
And
two strange lights in the sky.
And then the other thing is that there seems to be sort of a prismatic effect where there are two moons in the sky.
Yeah.
Sometimes it looks prismatic, sometimes it just looks like there's two moons. But there are times where it has this weird prismatic effect, where it kind of deliberately looks like you're standing on the edge of two realities at the same time or something.
Like
and I think that's
split down. That's on
purpose. I think that's
yeah.
intended for sure.
Because it does come back later on in the movie. A similar scene is set up and it's in the daytime, and you could actually see that there was very much an intentional line.
Yeah, there's CG. Yeah. There's literally CG lines that have been created there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if you guys picked up on, but a lot of the doors or the wind chimes have these weird little circle things.
Yeah,
which
the glass and the talismans.
So they can see which is real and which is not.
Yeah, I guess that's right. It's it's a marker of something of some kind. Right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, I think they say it's something with the third moon when you get introduced to the third moon. But because you can see it as some sort of aurora borealis is what they explain, and then.
Yeah, so there's these characters throughout who kind of seem to... I'm not even sure if they believe what they're saying necessarily, or if they're just trying to rationalize so the brothers will stay.
Yeah, and you had kind of...
It's hard to say.
That's it, and you had kind of mentioned how it's a pretty heavy movie, and it's that shows here, because these guys are... The characters that are portrayed, even the side characters, are so clearly... not in their right mind.
Damaged.
For what? Yeah, they're clearly
very
damaged.
clearly damaged.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this isn't necessarily a great place something is going on here, or the people that come here are very broken, damaged people.
You know what actually, I didn't even have this thought until literally right this moment, but it sort of reminds me of Midsommar.
Yeah.
Where the cult seems to be very idyllic and almost like a place you would want to be.
It's almost like a paradise,
until you kind of see the other half.
Exactly.
Of what the price is for that.
Right. Yeah.
And some of them know what the price is and are willing to live with it, and others are reckoning with it and wish they could escape.
Which is exactly what leads up to kind of the pivotal point in this movie where the twist is sort of revealed.
Yeah.
Do we want to jump there now, or do you want to move through some more of the plot?
There's got to be some other stuff.
There's definitely other stuff.
So Hal is the leader of the,
he's the brewmaster.
He repeatedly says he's not the leader. But he's the leader figure.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, he's the oldest one in the group,
and the one who knows the most.
And he brews all the beer.
Yeah, he's
which doesn't look very good.
No, he's daddy in the movie.
Yeah,
he's the daddy.
He's the gatekeeper.
And
he actually keeps the lock closed.
And he introduces this equation.
Right.
That he thinks explain. It's basically like the God equation or whatever.
Yeah.
It's this weird equation that he thinks explains everything that's happening, but obviously it's very difficult to understand what the equation is, and he doesn't even understand.
Right,
completely.
And it's clear that this guy is educated, a scientist of some type, mathematician, physicist guy, but even here, as you said, he doesn't know what he's doing. So really, this is just another way of these people trying to rationalize whatever it is they've found here. He's just doing it through for science, and some other people are doing it through drugs or whatever else they might be doing. Yeah.
Well, if you actually look at the equation, it's just one of Einstein's equations.
Of course you know this.
It's literally one of Einstein's equations.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is it an equation of?
Nice.
It's not with anything to do with like the theory of relativity. It's something when he was like an actual math equation.
Sweet, man. Yeah.
But I picked up on that as soon as
I figured you would.
I also paused it. I was like, I know that equation.
I figured. I was gonna ask you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, this dude's wild.
I didn't even know if it was a real equation or not. And Brady's like, actually, it's from this.
No, I knew it.
I solved it.
Can't fool me, motherfucker.
Yeah, we've been introduced to the equation. The moon, we've got the double moons, and we've seen this prismatic effect at this point. But on top of that, there's free beer. 24/7, literally 24/7 free beer.
Yeah.
24/7 free beer, free drugs, and everybody's hot and everybody's horny. Yeah. So that's the point.
I'm already sold.
That was the part.
I'm in.
That was the part where I was like, and you don't even have to do that much work.
Right.
You just have to do enough work to make sure the food is growing.
That's it. You don't have to.
That's literally
it. You get beer, food, sex, and a place to sleep.
Fresh organic food for free every single day.
It'll definitely be fresh and organic. You know what I'm saying?
Anna also goes, "Oh yeah, I'm the fashion person. I make the clothes."
Right? Yeah, they make everything on site.
And
right?
none of their clothes look bad. It's not like cult clothes. It's like kind of hip, but not like not trendy, but like modernized chic.
I'll tell you what they've got that not other cults have. There's not a uniform.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody has their own clothes. So the girl who makes the clothes is making different clothes for different people.
Yeah.
So that is even its own thing. Like, you could go to her and be like, hey, I want you to kind of make me this kind of thing, and she'll do it.
Yes.
It feels like a very utopian place.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like...
Which is how most of these cults in movies like this, or even in real life, it doesn't have to be a movie, most cults represent themselves that way.
Yeah, that this is a utopian place, this is how things should be. Mm-hmm. But of course, what's the catch?
Yeah, always.
Because there's always a catch.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's not even what Justin thinks, that they're going to all commit suicide.
Right, actually it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's that they're sort of stuck in, do we want to already go there, or do we want to, is there other stuff we want to get to?
There's so much to get to, yeah, we can keep going. Yeah, everything pertains to the twist, but we can wait for the twist.
Yeah, interesting, because again, Carnival of Souls
It's
to this.
very similar.
Yeah, this is a movie that once you understand what the twist is, suddenly a lot of things start to make sense.
That's right.
Before like the movie starts, they're showing the television footage of like UFO death cult, and they're in robes and stuff. So it's like a dramatized version of that. But that's why I thought that was gonna be them in robes and
like
praying to an effigy.
That's a source of conflict between Aaron and Justin throughout the entire movie. Because Justin has misrepresented.
Yes, he's portrayed them
as
a
deliberately
UFO
mispresented them.
And they don't hate him for it. Like they welcome him back.
There are some mixed, there's some really heavy mixed feelings about that. They're very upset with him. But
they welcome him back.
They still are willing to forgive him and let him come back. Yeah. So I think that is an important. That's its own twist in and of itself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I after I seen the robes and then they welcome him back, I thought there was definitely gonna be a death cult scene. Like drink the beer.
Yeah.
That's not drink the Kool-Aid.
Well, and that's actually there's a flashback where he sees the casks of beer being prepared on the back of a wagon or something, and that is the moment he decided to take Aaron and leave.
Right, I for sure thought that there was going to be something to do with the beer because they constantly refer to it, and it's its only export. Yeah. So I thought for sure it was going to be like poisoned or have something in it.
I was thinking it has psychedelics in it or something.
Well, they smoke that flower, which the red flower, which I guess is like grows in the area of where the cult is, and only in that area, from what they explain. Yeah. Which they don't really explain what it does to you.
No.
I'm assuming it's like a weed type.
I was thinking like an opium type.
Something that allows them to see reality as it really is, man.
I thought maybe what I assumed was like they smoke it and they can see the shimmers of the UFOs and like the lights more. Yeah. Because you notice a lot of the people that are smoking are constantly looking up the entire time.
I took it as it helps them realize that they're in these bubbles, in these time loops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah, to see these like sort of these parts of reality that don't really make sense, and they're trying to make sense of it, so they're like indulging in these in a lot of alcohol and a lot of drugs. Yeah. So that it opens them up to these sort of like very very Lovecraftian idea.
It is, but and it's neat to on a light side tangent. There's plenty of people who are on the outside world who pursue similar paths towards trying to make sense of something irrational, which is just people that do drugs, alcohol, etc., to try and rationalize it as a means of trying to connect with something that you're missing, and that's what they're doing in this cult. But it's so much more obvious there's something in the area that they don't understand, but on a smaller level perhaps than the level of life. Yeah.
Legalize red flower.
Yeah, bring it in, baby. Let's smoke some poppies.
We might as well just start to unravel the twist.
Yeah, we can push for because so much of this movie hinges on two main things. It's the twist and the
first kind of twist that the cult isn't really what Justin has been portraying it as for all these years, not just to his brother but to the media,
right?
And how that sort of derailed the growth of the cult, but also the fact that they seem to be. This is very. Were you guys getting Lost vibes?
A little bit, yeah.
I was getting big Lost vibes, big Lost vibes because I'm a big Lost fan.
It's clearly an influence. Right down to the meeting of the two brothers coming back into the cult. You could have put that scene in Lost and it would have felt right in place.
The scientist guy that does the equation, that felt really Lost when he brought Jason.
Feels like a Daniel Faraday.
Yeah. When he brought him down from the hey, I want to talk to you and talking about something and shows him the equations. That felt super Lost.
And the guy and him saying he's not in charge. There's an invisible person who's basically in charge, like Jacob in Lost, and there was definitely I was feeling a lot of Lost vibes,
and like the rope pull, and during the rope pull, it's evident that there's kind of something out there more than just a guy in a tower, maybe. So there's plenty of things, unknown entities and strange goings-ons.
Right, and Lost does kind of play with time and space in ways that would And then so that basically takes us to the twist. The big twist of the movie is that there are a bunch of sort of concentric circles of time loops happening over and over again in this space, which is sort of hinted at because everybody looks the same as when they left.
Right, that's something they noticed really early. Yeah.
And they say it's because they're living so healthy.
Right.
Is what they're saying, like, we eat organic, we don't have to work all the time.
Yeah.
And that there's honestly
some truth to that.
There's some truth to that. Yeah. So it doesn't sound like you're watching a movie, so you think there might be more to it than that. Yeah. But it's not like that's a ridiculous explanation.
No.
Yeah.
For why they're not aging. Because if you were living that sort of lifestyle,
you would probably look fairly good.
You would look a lot younger.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm only 22. But that's really where the depth of the movie comes into play. Is that we learn they're in these time bubbles. Each bubble is a different length of loop. There's one guy running through that we're shown who has like a 4 or 5 second loop. There's people with days, weeks, months. Who knows how many there are out there? But also there's an entity, a being, a cosmic being of some...
Yeah, nobody really knows what it is. There. Again,
it's very Lovecraft.
Yeah, I mean, of course they knew what they were doing when they put the Lovecraft quote at the front.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, this is basically one of the old gods from Lovecraft's mythology.
Yeah, it's the old god, and it's maybe not happy. Is this a form of punishment or a form of bliss? I guess you'd have to ask yourself and make that choice.
That is, again, that is the existential question at the heart of the movie.
Yeah.
Is, what is this entity and what does it want? And I think very much like how a lot of people see God in our society would be like, is this just something to entertain? Like, are we
just a plaything?
Are we just a plaything to entertain God?
But then
whichever God you believe in or whichever God you don't believe in, the stories kind of have all the same. Like, you could go back to Egyptian mythology or Greek mythology, or right to today with Christian mythology or Jewish mythology, which is kind of cross-pollinated. The same idea resonates with all of these different mythologies.
Absolutely.
Are we just playthings for the gods? Do they just watch us and laugh? Why do we exist?
Right. Not to go to Men in Black, but at the end of the first Men in Black movie, the alien, like the higher being aliens are playing marbles with galaxies.
Right. Yeah.
And like that's kind of why I thought was like there's something bigger up than
pull.
You know what that reminds me of? I don't know if you guys have watched Goblin Slayer, the anime.
No.
But the gods in Goblin Slayer are just people playing D&D.
That's sweet.
Yeah. I gotta watch Goblin Slayer.
So Goblin Slayer, all the characters just have names of what their class is.
Right.
I am Sorceress.
Oh, okay.
I am Goblin Slayer.
Yeah.
I am this, I am that. They don't have names, and it's because they're literally
just the
characters in a D&D game.
Yeah.
So it's just a very rapey game of D&D.
Yeah, it's fun. Yes. Yeah. But good show.
But to bring it back, I think part of that is... So that is a great question that you posed. That is a great existential question about higher powers. And I think there's another very good existential question in this movie, and it's part of why this movie stuck with me so much after watching it, because there's 2 really good questions in there. The second one would be, they are indeed in a time loop, and some of these characters have willingly chosen to stay in these time loops.
Yes!
To come to these time loops and to be there.
Yes.
Because they have a defined amount of time of life. They have a known certainty to the end, and they know that they will come back. And they don't have to actually face the unknown. Not only that being death, they'll never have to face the ultimate unknown, which nobody can know, which is death. But they don't have to face the unknown aspects of life, of not knowing what tomorrow will bring. So they know what tomorrow will bring. Eventually it will bring them dead.
Yes.
And they get to come back. They've escaped our primal fear of life, of being alive.
I think what you're saying is super resonant. Because there are a bunch of these characters who literally know how they're going to die, when they're going to die, over and over again. But if you know that, but you're going to come back,
and then you'll never have to face that final step.
Yeah, so that is the thing.
Why isn't this place more bumping? I'd be in that cult.
And that is the...
That's it.
That is the
juxtaposition.
Yeah. That's the juxtaposition between Aaron and Justin.
That's exactly.
Justin would rather live in reality, even though reality sucks.
Yeah.
Aaron is starting to say, like, yeah, reality sucks. So even though this place comes with these caveats, maybe I would rather stay here than go back out there and work a shit menial job, barely pulling by. Mm-hmm. I hate it out there. Here has its problems.
Everything. And for and then in the places with longer loops, I mean, you could turn this place into a heaven of sorts, right? Like the cult. They've got this beautiful little utopian society that they can loop into for eternity, or as long as this cosmic being's around. And they've set it up such that they have an export, they have money coming in, they have food, they can live a very happy life. Yeah. Perhaps the guy running into the tent every 5 seconds and dying doesn't think this place is such a wonderful place
from
to be.
What I could see from the couple quick scenes you see from the time he's killing himself.
Yeah.
Just like the first person you meet that Justin knows when they're driving up to the cult, the running guy.
The running guy, yeah.
That you find out later is Crazy Gun Guy.
Yeah.
Which love that name.
Should be Carl, right?
The other guy the guy that is handcuffed in the trailer.
Yes.
Okay.
The husband of the woman that's looking for him at the camp. Adjacent.
This is back to the GIF I sent to you guys earlier, where it's Homer Simpson's head exploding.
Yeah, it gets a little crazy. Yeah.
Because by the time we were about 3/4 into this movie, I literally felt my brain bleeding out of my ears. Yeah, I'm like,
because there's all these characters in different lengths of loops who have bumped into other characters with their own lengths.
Yeah, and they're crossing over with each other, and then they're going back and forth, and it's just really.
Yeah. And that's but I think they say it sometimes they can and sometimes they can't, and that's sort of where it does again. It pushes towards whatever the deity is. It could probably and seems to be maybe malicious. It's definitely toying with some of these people.
And it's like all these different realities are they're these concentric circles, and they bleed into each other, and then they bleed out, and then they bleed in and bleed out. And
if this sounds like a fucking trip, it's because it is, and all of our listeners, international and domestically, should check this movie out. It's a hell of a time.
I would say specifically if you like movies like 2001: A Space Odyssey, any sort of like legendary mindfuck movie. Mm-hmm. I don't know if this movie quite lives up to that lofty potential, because it's definitely a little indie movie.
It 100% is an indie movie. The acting shows it, even though it's more than passable. The sets are very bare minimum. Yeah.
The most notable thing that shows that this is a low-budget movie is that the fire is CG.
Oh, I didn't.
When the cabin gets set on fire.
The
fire is clearly CG.
They couldn't afford to put something.
Well, they couldn't really burn that. No. They couldn't afford to burn that place down.
No.
I'd say at the very end, the CG is even worse. But like the cabin fire, when like he lights himself on fire to reset the day, or are they? I couldn't tell. Are they resetting the day, or because
if they die, they come back, so that because they have some control over it. Because the crazy dude in the trailer, not the gun guy.
He asks Justin for a gun,
and he hangs himself, and he's tried killing himself in many different ways because he wants to escape, but he always comes back.
Yeah.
So even if he doesn't end his own loop, at some point he would, or it could be that that's his loop is just driving him to kill himself repeatedly. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, he also shoots at whatever's in the sky, which I assumed was UFOs because Justin and Aaron are shooting guns and it hits something, which I'm assuming is just like the wall of plasma.
I never really had an answer to that.
It kind of reminds me of Cabin in the Woods, the sort of invisible wall.
That's what I pictured.
Yeah, but that's made by man to take it to keep the
cabin.
Whereas this is like
could be the edge of their bubble. Who fucking knows, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the great thing about working with like the sort of ephemeral ideas that this movie's doing is it's kind of like completely open to interpretation.
I just assumed that SpongeBob was in there somewhere with Bubble Buddy just floating around. It's like, I can't let you leave.
That's what I pictured the entity as. Yeah.
Actually, that's what I pictured the entity as too. It was just Bubble Buddy from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
do we want to kind of just take it right to the end? Then?
I think we should.
We probably can.
This is a movie that you're watching to get to the final thoughts,
because
this movie is about provoking final thoughts.
It's interesting that we didn't because we don't choose these movies in concert. Each movie is its one person's pick.
Yeah.
So, but Carnival of Souls and The Endless kind of have a cross-pollination in the way
too.
That they're both movies where the ending kind of the twist lets you in on what's going on throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and I don't think that hard. I didn't pick this movie on purpose to play into that. But it is super cool that it did have so much, I guess, in common, so many common threads between the two movies.
Yeah.
Both in dealing with existentialism and also in the twist being
the thing.
It makes the rest of everything else.
Yeah, right? Where you're kind of just watching a movie and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then the twist is introduced and then you're like...
And then you can start putting together what you
suddenly
watched.
The twist is introduced a lot earlier in this movie, and they kind of have a lot more time to explore it. But that basically comes to the head of the movie. The conflict between the brothers is what's that? The clash. Should I stay or should I go? Essentially, that is essentially what this movie is. But by the end, even Aaron agrees that he would rather face reality, which. That's something we missed that I think might be worth discussing briefly. Justin's control over Aaron is cult-like in and of itself.
Very much
It is, yeah.
And I thought of that multiple times because Justin decides what they do. Justin decides where they go. Aaron has to ask Justin for permission to do things a lot of the time.
Almost in a very parental figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, it's interesting that they're, even though they've escaped the cult, they're living in a cult-like way outside the cult.
Right.
And that I think that's meant to sort of suggest, their brains are already kind of programmed to a certain extent.
That they haven't really escaped it. They're still living as cultists, essentially, just as cultists would in the outside world, out of place. They haven't assimilated at this point, right?
Yes.
They also say that in the early, the beginning of the movie, or when you first meet the cult, Justin and Aaron's parents died in a fire, and the cult rescued them to save them.
Right.
And so because no one wanted them, they were just little children, and and then they go back as adults, and then one wants to leave and one wants to stay. So it's like, oh, there's a family here, but I don't know the family, and I know the family, and I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Which is a kind of cool symbolism with, a lot of how families work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the shit out of the director that did that.
That's a great point.
There's
a huge dichotomy there.
Huge.
Because there are definitely... a lot of people... There's a lot of people out there who feel like I'm in this family and I love being in this family, and then there's a lot of people who are probably members of those same families who are like, get me out of this fucking nightmare.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get ostracized. You don't want to be part of the family.
Good call, though. That's 100% part of the themes that they're exploring.
Yeah,
there. Yeah, absolutely. It is. It's very on purpose. Yeah.
Does Aaron finds a new home as where Justin wants to go back to society, even though society sucks to them both, but
and I
he'd rather not be in a murder cult.
I think even Justin is tempted to stay at times.
Oh, 100%.
You can see that, but also he wants to stay because Aaron wants to stay towards the end, and then...
I think even with Justin, there's aspects he realizes that make more sense in Time Loop City than it would in the real world.
And I think that is really the ultimate thesis of the movie. And the thing that I would say the director, the writer and director are also the stars. Justin,
they are, yeah.
Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead
and
play the brothers, and they both directed, and one of them wrote the film.
Okay,
that's the same with They Look Like People. They look like people.
Yeah, that's probably why it felt so similar.
I didn't look into these guys at all, but part of me, with no basis whatsoever, wonders if they'd been in a situation like this.
What I know, I don't know the other. I can't remember. I briefly looked into it last night. they made another indie movie that was kind of a big deal before this, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And then they kind of made this after. So we might have to look into what their other movie was.
I might have to look at that
after the fact.
We'll have to maybe do that for the show.
Yeah.
Well, it couldn't hurt.
I'll probably check it out, and if it's
because I actually like this movie.
Oh,
it is
amazing. Yeah.
It's certainly interesting, but yeah, the thing they're reckoning with, which is honestly something we can all relate to. Every single living person in this world can relate. Even children can relate to living in an imperfect society that sucks ass a lot of the time.
Fuck yeah.
But you can't change it.
No, you're powerless, right? And so the draw of, and I don't see any cowardice in it, but the draw of having something defined, stated, and known is so alluring compared to the draw of knowing nothing.
Yeah, and I think that's really the thesis of the movie is, would you rather live in like a doomed paradise, or would you rather live in the chaotic unknown of the everyday?
Yeah, that's the core of this movie, 100%, and that's it, man. And I mean, we could spend a whole other podcast talking about that question.
Well, I think the reason this movie works is because that's such a resonant question.
Yeah.
Because we all have days where you wake up and you go to work and oh, now I gotta get fucking groceries. Now I gotta pick up the kids. Yeah. Now I gotta do this bullshit, not bullshit, and it just feels like a series of tasks that you don't want to do.
Right. Well, and part of what had popped in my head while I was watching it is that, you know, some of these guys are in loops that would definitely seem to be a form of punishment. The guy that blips in and out every 5 seconds, there's no way that's there for pleasure. He's being punished. His loop is short. But you would have to wonder if our life as we live it in today's world, I mean, we do the same thing in and out every day, whether we want to or not. We go to work because we have to pay bills. We pay bills because we have to live. We don't have a lot of choice in
work to live to work.
Yeah, we are indeed part of a cult with an overlord that makes us do repetitive tasks day
called
in day.
Capitalism.
Yeah. And does it almost as a form of punishment or to maintain control. This movie is talking about nothing that it's actually talking about. This movie has a lot of great points just about life in general, man. But, you know, there's analogies out the wazoo with this one, let me tell you.
Sorry, did you guys notice, like, the guy in the tent that keeps dying really fast, like the first one you meet in the loop? The hanging guy gives Jason is a World War II one. And if you look at when the door unlocks and you see the tapes, like, it goes back so far that, like, that guy's from World War II, and he probably wants to get out, so he just kills himself constantly.
Yeah. And then
we should probably touch on that.
That's
quickly.
Probably the most Lovecraftian aspect of the story.
Oh, yeah.
That it has been going on, or at the very least, this phenomenon has crossed different time periods. It's not just people, it's not just these people.
No.
In this specific time period, it's crossed at the very least decades.
Yeah. As far back as, like you said, as like I think 1942 was one of the earliest ones we saw. Maybe the 30s.
Well, I guess that's when
I didn't pause it, but
I think it was 1809 was when film first became a thing, and that was like old, like not even reels. It was like the tourniquet horse reels, and then also like when Jason pulls when science guy tells him, he finds the picture, just go under the water, he sees the creature under the water that he claims.
Right.
And then, like, brings up the old broken cassette.
Yeah.
And they still can play it.
Oh, yeah.
How they can still play that, like, waterlogged cassette that's warped.
Yeah.
I knew there was some sort of weird entity or that's playing these for them, not just like the old VCR and cassette
that it is
player.
a defined message of some type.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that is basically the culminating moment in the movie. Will they leave or will they not? And they decide to leave, and they manage to leave.
They get out.
They just narrowly manage to get out, and then it seems to be that the bubble's collapsing behind them.
Yeah.
But we also see that the characters are sort of reanimating after the bubble collapses.
Yeah, I think
so it's not that the conflict is over,
it's not over
and everything is finished.
Yeah, just a fresh wipe.
They just escape the loop.
Yeah.
And the loop will continue behind them, for better or for worse, for everybody who's in it.
Also, you see that Aaron constantly wants to drive. But
Yeah.
Jason
Yeah, Justin.
won't let him drive.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when they're trying to get the car started, he lets Aaron drive, and the car starts, and they drive off into the...
That's definitely a metaphor.
It is. Justin's given control to Aaron, and Aaron is now facing fears of things he hasn't done before.
Yeah. Into the great unknown.
Yeah, into the great unknown.
A young child spreading his wings, tying the shoes.
I think it's a bit too heady for most kids.
For kids, I would say so. You need both sides of the story to get it. So as a child, you're missing...
Yeah, I think my kids would just be watching with question marks above their heads.
They'd be like, what do you mean? And then you try and explain, well, being a human really fucking blows.
Yeah.
You're like, no, it's not. Ice cream's good.
Yeah, I think you would have to have been a kid and then an adult to sort of see the duality of this movie and what it's saying. And
life's a matter of perspective.
Not a perfect movie, but I think what it's doing is interesting enough that it's worth watching and worth resonating with and worth thinking about.
That would be my almost exact sum up. Yeah. Maybe not a perfect movie, 100% worth watching.
It's definitely worth watch.
Since we're final thoughting, are there any final thoughting that we need to do aside from what we've basically already said?
So we didn't get on we talked about shitty Carl.
Yeah,
shitty Carl.
And his best friend that's trying to keep him sober. But shitty Carl's best friend, his wife was the one that her husband went missing.
Yeah,
and she's at Camp Arcadia, but she's not actually at the camp. She's
arrived.
She's around, and she rides her bike through Camp Arcadia.
Yeah,
and then you see her kind of go through it again.
Yeah,
before they leave. So she got stuck in a loop. Yeah, she might be stuck in a loop.
She had,
and that made me think for a second, was she part of the loop originally? And then I was like, oh, she's just looking for her husband.
Yeah, and that is her loop, and it could be.
That's the thing is people. Some people know they're in the loop, and some people don't.
Yeah. So you're right. It could be that she wasn't just arriving there; she was already in the loop, and that's her part of that loop. Yeah.
She's in the 100%. BuzzFeed loop.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Dope movie though. Hey?
Right. Yeah. So final thoughts. I don't think it's a perfect movie by any stretch. I think it's pretty good though, and I think it's doing what it does well. For an independent film. For obviously a very low budget independent film, I think it accomplishes what it's trying to do pretty well, and I think, for me, even as a first time viewer, it brought up all these questions for me.
Good.
And I think that in and of itself, the fact that I watched this last night, less than 24 hours ago, and it left that much of an impression on me.
You're just getting into it. Yeah.
So I think that is a very much an argument in its favor.
Oh, yeah.
Initially I was thinking kind of in the 3 to 3.5, but now that we've talked about it this much and I've had all this time to think about it, I think it might be a little stronger. It might be in the 4 out of 5.
Okay.
I'm in the same boat there, Mike. My initial viewing of it, I kind of was gonna give it a lower. I was gonna make a joke that it should have ended faster, not end less. But as we're talking about it more, it's more resonating. Don't get me wrong, I like the movie a lot. Just I wanted to make that joke, but now I don't even want to make that joke because I actually like discussing it. This is a discussion movie. It's not a movie you just sit down by yourself and watch. You talk about it with people.
I think discussing a movie like this actually makes it better.
100%. Yeah, we've done one other that I flipped my stance on after discussing with you guys.
Antichrist?
Was it Antichrist?
Maybe.
I think I flipped on Antichrist after discussing it, and I totally get that this movie is in that same vein.
Yeah.
Because it hits way above its grade due to the questions it poses. Your original score, Mike, of 3.5, a 70, is bang on. It's a 70% movie, but it's asking questions that give it a much higher rating. And so Rotten Tomatoes on this one was 90 or 91%, so it's well fucking received. And because the rest of the movie is mediocre at best, I can only assume that rating is because it resonated with so many people who found the questions intriguing.
The questions it stirs in you, because we're all, regardless of what your job is, what your family situation is, we're all part of these loops that we can't escape.
Right.
Even without the fucking science fiction horror aspect of this movie, we're already all doing it.
Yeah.
So
and the fear of having to continue each day without knowing what's coming, I think is prevalent in most people's lives. Even if it's not on such a short loop as a day-to-day basis, certainly a year-by-year basis, or a decade-by-decade as we march forward into life not knowing what's coming. These are the questions that keep us awake at night.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, you guys should have seen me in elementary school where I was at the Friendless.
Oh, boo!
I was saving that one.
You know how, you guys can't see, but you know how long that sat on his face as he smiled, knowing what he was about to say? It wasn't brief, I'll tell you that.
I was smiling for about 60 seconds, just waiting to deliver that piece of shit joke.
Also, Shitty Carl is such a funny character.
Shitty Carl,
really be that funny for how...
Shitty Carl is the levity you need in this movie.
The brief 15 seconds of relief.
You really need a fucking weird trailer park maniac to just fall into this movie for a little bit and just, fuck the place up for a little bit.
I wondered for a second if he was part of Camp Arcadia or if he just was on the rural... of Camp Arcadia.
I would think, now that you mention it, I would think that he just happens to be on the edges at this time.
Yes.
And has nothing to do with the cult.
He's in his own.
Yeah.
Okay, so what on earth are we talking about next week?
Grab your laxatives. We're doing Bad Milo. We'll make sure you guys have laxatives.
Why? It's
you
not
don't
scary.
need to. No, it's not scary.
It's not scary enough that I have to take laxatives to make sure I shit my pants.
Okay.
Just make sure you guys bring laxatives.
Got it.
We'll see how bad Milo is in 7 days. And until then,
Keep your eyes open.
And we're out.